What's cooking, everybody? I'm Dave Altizer from Kinotika. Today we're talking about the DJI Inspire 2 and the newly released Zenmuse X7. Now, you may not know this, but I work for a company that also has another channel. It is a drone channel. They talk about all sorts of different things, from the Mavic to the Phantom to the Inspire. They also talk about other drones and how to use them. And that channel is called We Talk UAV. My friend Alex is in charge of that channel, and he is kind of like me for that channel. So make sure to check out that channel, We Talk UAV. They talk about all sorts of amazing things. Alex sent me this drone that came from DJI. Now, we have the Inspire 2, we have the X7, we also have the X5S, and that's all we have. We don't have any other lenses. We're using the 15mm lens on the X5S to compare it to the X7, and we were given the 35mm lens on the X7 here, and that's all we have. We don't have the ability to record ProRes, we don't have the ability to record RAW, we weren't given any SSDs, and for us to buy those things to test for you guys is just not worth it at this point in this channel to spend over $2,000 just to test the RAW and the ProRes. However, I have used this drone in 2 professional video setups, recording directly to the SD card in H.264 4K. So I have some experience using this thing, and I am excited to tell you all about it. First off, a little history about me with experience with drones. I've been flying for over 6 years now. I started on the original Phantom and went to the Phantom 1, from the Phantom 2 to Phantom 3. Actually, I skipped Phantom 3, but I went straight to the Phantom 4 Pro. Last year I had the Pro, and I really loved that 1-inch sensor. It made a huge difference. I hired out some people in the past to fly Inspire drones. I went to Mexico with my friend Jason Wayne, and we took an Inspire 1 with the X5, the original X5 gimbal. We got some amazing shots in Mexico, and I really liked the image, but it honestly wasn't that much better than what I was getting out of the Phantom 4 Pro. So when I was told that I was going to get the Inspire 2 with the X7, I was honestly not that excited about it, because I didn't really think that the image out of the Inspire 1 was all that worth it for the size and bulk compared to the Phantom. But boy, was I wrong. As soon as I took this thing out and started using it, I was in love with it. The power with these motors and this machine in general, just flying it is a breeze. It feels like you're flying a Phantom, but a Phantom that is so much more stable. So if you're on the fence about buying an Inspire or a Phantom and you have the money, definitely consider buying the Inspire. Just the usability and the handling of this thing makes all the difference. In really high wind scenarios, I was able to get this thing to stay completely rock solid. And when those legs go up, you just have a full range of motion with the gimbal. And it's just something that when you're used to it, you can't go back. I can't imagine going back to the Phantom series and not having a full range of motion. The motion tracking that's built into DJI's app is amazing. I must say, this tracking mode really is nice. It really helps you get these shots that are really hard to pull off by yourself. You can never get a shot this smooth and cinematic on a Phantom either, because you don't have full 360-degree camera movement like this. Oh man, that's nice. The drone itself is amazing. If you're buying this thing with a kit, the base model kit with the gimbal is going to come with the X5S and the Inspire 2. It's a great kit. This camera looks really good. I was really impressed with it, and it's quite an upgrade from what I remember with the original X5 on the Inspire 1. The low light performance is great. It's super sharp. You get a little bit of depth of field because it is a pretty large sensor for an aerial platform. The drone itself is so dialed in. You can tell that DJI has put millions and millions of dollars into the research and development of this thing, and they've learned a lot from the pilots who flew the Inspire 1. First off, we have dual batteries. And this is an ingenious solution for the people who say, well, what happens if it falls out of the sky? Having 2 batteries gives this thing a fail-safe in case one of these batteries happens to fail on you. So having the peace of mind and knowing that you have a backup. It's just good to tell your clients, and good for you to know that this thing is not just gonna blow up and fall out of the sky. Well, hopefully it won't. Like I said, I only had access to the internal recording to the micro SD card slot. The micro SD card slot is right here, and it's just pretty straightforward. It's just like any other drone. You wanna have an Extreme Pro micro SD. I don't have any type of case for this thing other than the one that it came in, and I found that it's actually a really great case. It's small, it's lightweight, it's just like a kind of a briefcase type of setup. It's really easy to put the box in the back of your trunk when you're on a shoot, when you're going and doing different things on location. You can even bring it around with you if you're on a shoot and you have another person with you. It's not terrible. Obviously, it's not like a Mavic that you can just throw in your camera bag or put in your pocket. One thing that I really found that's really useful with this thing is when you're packing it down and you take the gimbal off, all you gotta do is just push the button here 5 times, and the legs just fold up like that, and then it goes into the case nice and easy. Pop your batteries off and you're good to go. So the DJI X7 Zenmuse gimbal setup is the most amazing all-in-one kit that you can get on the market today. There is literally not a single competitor out there that can even come close. GoPro tried their best and they failed, and now they're going way under. This camera right here is a Super 35 sensor. Did you hear me? Super 35 sensor. That's the same sensor size as a Red Epic or an Arri Alexa. This sensor size is the largest sensor in an all-in-one gimbal that's ever been designed. I really think that the development here with the lenses and with the sensor is coming from the acquisition that DJI made with Hasselblad. They're able to harness the amazing research and development and technology that Hasselblad has had for over 100 years or whatever, and apply that to the lensing that they're doing here with the X7 and the sensor. And that's just really exciting. The lens lineup is unbelievable. You have every lens that you would ever want, from 16 millimeters, 24 millimeters, 35 millimeters, and 50 millimeters. Like I said, we only have the 35 millimeter here, so that's giving us a 50 millimeter equivalent in terms of full frame, which is quite zoomed in. I'm not used to that on a drone, and at first I was really bummed that that's all we had because I wanted to give you guys a thorough review. However, I got used to it and I really liked it. First off, that means I can fly a lot further away from my subjects, get up higher in a safer zone away from telephone lines and trees, and still have a rather close-up shot and see the subject. So that is a benefit of having a zoomed-in lens. Some of the shots I was doing were really interesting with this lens. I had a couple walking from their house down the walkway, and I was able to get the shot, and it really looks like this huge jib shot. That's not going to be possible with anything else other than maybe the X5S with a tighter lens, but the image quality just is unrivaled. I've never seen anything like it. The sensor really makes a huge difference, and it just looks like a real camera on a jib or something. This thing has really just sparked my creativity. It's really just made me really excited to use this more often, and we're going to be using this drone in hopefully all of the videos moving forward when we go into Nashville or different places, just to get establishing shots, because there really just isn't anything else like it, and it's amazing. Battery life is actually pretty good. I get roughly 20 minutes to 30 minutes with the 2 batteries. That might not sound like a lot, but if you know what shot you need, just get up, grab it, and then bring it down. One of the things about the DJI system that I really love is the really amazing AI technology. I don't know if that's the right thing to call it, but the one thing in particular is the motion tracking. I'm able to get shots that I've always wanted to do in my head, but were never possible as a single operator. Being able to track onto a subject and move around and have full 360 movement with the Inspire is amazing. Now you do get that with an Inspire 1, so if that alone is important to you, get an Inspire 1 with the X5. You're gonna save a lot of money and you still get a lot of those cinematic shots. The only difference is with this kit, you're getting quite a bit of battery life, and you can fly the X7, which is, in my opinion, the best camera I've ever seen on a drone next to flying a Red Epic. Because this camera is so good, I actually decided to do something I've never done before. I've seen it done before, I've seen people do this, and I've always thought it was kind of a gimmick. I've even seen DJI do this in their ads and stuff, but I've never actually had the confidence in the actual camera to pull this off and it be seamless. And that is using this thing as a handheld gimbal. If you're buying this thinking that you can get away with doing both handheld gimbal shots and drone shots, then you're wrong. You definitely need a proper camera on a gimbal because there is no autofocus tracking. The practicality of using this handheld is just not practical. But there is times where you're doing a shot and you want to just grab a quick shot on the ground, and this camera is fabulous. If you have an extra hand, then you can do it. What I did is I had my assistant hold the drone like so, and he walked backwards. I had the remote control controlling the camera movement up and down. I motion tracked the subject, locked my focus, made sure I had focus peaking on to keep the focus in, and we got handheld gimbal shots, and it actually looked amazing because, again, we're using a Super 35 sensor with a f2.8 lens on it, and the footage looked just as smooth as it would on a Ronin or a Movi, and that's really cool. It's really neat to have. I, again, do not think that you should have this be your primary gimbal at all. It's just not practical. But what's interesting about having the ability to do this is the fact that you can do an all-in-one shot. Say you have a huge aerial shot coming down and you see a guy driving in a car and he gets out of the car. You have a guy catch the drone safely. They turn the blades off and then the guy walks towards the person getting out of the shot, walking into the home, and then you cut. You know, you could have like one big move. The creative possibilities with this thing are really exciting. And because the camera is so good and you actually get some real depth of field using this sensor, you can get away with it and people wouldn't notice, especially if you're shooting raw. I mean, good grief, you can really make that thing look amazing. Using this is really the way to go because it's going to be seamless going from a Red Epic to this. And that is really what makes this thing so unbelievably powerful and so amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoyed the shots that you saw and some of the tests that I did. Like I said earlier, make sure to put in the comments what you want me to do with this. Make sure to check out We Talk UAV. They have a ton of tests, battery tests, talking about the camera comparison, different things like that. Check them out. They have lots of extensive tests and reviews on this camera and lots of other ones. Comment below, let us know what you thought. Let me know if you want to see anything in particular, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're putting out a ton of content on different cameras, more Inspire 2 reviews. We may get a Mavic Air, we don't know. I'm Dave Altizer. See you next time.